Throughout the history of Geometry Dash, there have been many modes and small communities made for specific purposes. The two-player mode for levels including the dual game mode is largely held as an obscure part of levels that only the best can create on and the most incredibly skilled can beat. Creation including the mode provides some of the most unique gameplay in levels, but a certain few have gone beyond what the name of the mode suggests and complete these levels by themselves using a plethora of different methods and skill sets to get around this limitation. Today, we look at these special levels and players who have used these handicaps to get past the barriers of skill. A well-known two-player level is Our Robot, which piggybacks the icon on top of a robot in which you have to coordinate the two modes to pass the level. It's a test to see if you can handle two icons at the same time with different gameplay, because there are even harder two-player levels out there, such as Duelo Maestro and Master Duel, which most know about, but an even harder level using the mode is Elite Z Rebirth. Okay, never mind, the duel is 2 seconds long. There are much harder two-player levels out there though, such as Multition, which certainly has its hard parts, but is far from the hardest two-player level, especially when you compare it to Epic Multiplayer, which isn't rated but is a very hard completion nonetheless. Epic Multiplayer includes more than just difficult gameplay on two sides of the screen, because it has difficult gameplay on the entire screen. It even includes a memory part with the fading blocks, but not even this level can top Colorful Corruption. It has its hard single-player parts, but the hard two-player section stands out because it has more than just a duel. It has a boss fight. The faces seen within the level are a joke within the two-player community, also being recreated in GD Place, but the levels harder than Colorful Corruption are way above all others, and beating these is more than a challenge. For example, Gentleman's Click is a more recent release compared to other levels, and its difficulty puts it as one of the hardest two-player levels on the servers. Most of the level is dual, only raising the difficulty from what people expect, but a 60Hz mobile player beat the level with a bug fix named after him.
When I initially tried Gentleman's Clique, it was very buggy, even more buggy than its predecessor, Base Gang. So what I did was contact Alpharox. I've managed to get him to bug fix the level 20 times by now, which made it really bug-proof and good.
Gentleman's Click is very difficult, but it had an inspiration, and that level is none other than Bang Gang. Created and verified by some community figures, it also has a very difficult boss fight at the end, as well as unique gameplay, but if there's one part that makes the level harder than it looks, it's this wave spam. Even though I said it was the hardest solo completion of a two-player level, I was dead wrong because Base Gang, another level inspired by Bang Gang, exists. Base Gang is visibly harder though, including yet another boss fight and a very hard ship and wave section at the end, which requires a ton of alternating inputs. This is hard, but it doesn't crown the top of the hardest two-player level beaten, because the hardest level only has one victor. And this level is Tenkai, an unrated extreme. A rather unknown level yet mythical achievement, this level was made years ago in early 2.1 as a challenge for two people, but there is one solo victor of this beast, and he goes by the name of Motor.
Even though I didn't really react in the video, it was still my biggest reaction, if that makes sense. After playing it for that long, it was like a huge relief to finally have it done. It's definitely my style. You know, there's levels that aren't my style, where it's like intersected duel, where they're on the same path, and you kind of have to like figure out what to do instead of it just being set rhythm. Kind of like that kind of stuff. Even though a lot of people don't like the level, and the decoration too. It's not like the worst thing ever, but you know, it's pretty good for the time.
There have also been a few small efforts to get Tenkai rated, and to me, it definitely should, so...
Hashtag rate Tenkai.
Yes! Tenkai is the hardest two-player level beaten solo, but it's not the hardest one getting progress, as Codependent has gotten more progress since the creation of this video. Yet again, the most progress comes from none other than Pukklez, who has reached 66%.
It is so much fun. With all the polyrhythms, the consistency, it's just like playing piano. It's just a lot of fun. The consistency is what makes it fun because you get to play the level instead of just dying to the first bits over and over, which can be quite annoying.
Though Codependence has cemented itself as the hardest 2-player level released on the servers, it doesn't hold the hardest 2-player part, as that crown goes to Horos, and there's only one person who's done that part. Known as one of the best mobile players, Cooper has put himself onto the 2-player scene by completing this tough task.
It's a really difficult level overall, which I didn't expect when I got into it, because it was kind of just like a couple hundred downloads. It was just chilling there, and I didn't really know what to expect when going into it. As I got to play, I got to find out that it was really, really hard. And the second half, honestly, not that bad. I was able to do it pretty quickly, but the first half has some really, really hard duels. The ship duels in 2-player are really, really sucky, because it's not just about memorizing tap patterns. You gotta do adjustments with it too, which is really just like, it takes a lot of focus on both sides of the screen. So I haven't played it in a bit, but it is a fun level. I like it.
Yes! Yes!
Not many players have tried to put their names among the mode's best, but most that have tried have done so. However, with over 350 rated 2-player levels, especially with many insane and extreme demons, it's hard to complete them all, but one player rose up to the challenge months ago. A player completed every single rated 2-player level other than Codependence, and this player is ATF. Though difficult levels have been released since then, this is one of the greatest achievements that goes unknown. The 2-player community is very small compared to others, but they encourage each other to beat harder and harder levels. Not only do they play these levels, but some are even making them, such as Pukklez Challenge Piano Man, which features many polyrhythms. Many of these players use unique control methods as well, such as using a mobile device or even a controller. Over time, the community has become close-knit, making a list for the hardest 2-player levels, and are only getting better at the game.
Initially, it would take a lot of effort to like find people to bring them in, but once everybody was here, like we all get along, which is insane. We're all trying to push each other to do better, and like 2-player levels would be as far as they are now without this. Like obviously things go on outside the server, but the fact that everybody is here and knows each other pushes people to beat things, because they'll know they'll get the recognition for it, and like their efforts will be rewarded.